For those of you in the know, Pokemon Sword and Shield were revealed in a recent Pokemon Direct. Even though the trailers showed off quite a bit of how these games are going to look and feel, as well as give us our first glimpse into the starter Pokemon, you've probably begun to ponder what features will be introduced or even returned from previous generations. I know I have, because if Game Freak is good at anything, it's creating the best features ever and then never bringing them back. And I have quite a few hopes for what to expect from the new Generation 8 games that will grace our Nintendo Switches in late 2019. Some of these hopes are likely, some are unlikely. Like, very unlikely. You can't fault a guy for dreaming, right? So let's get this started. I am TreeckoBro, and these are my top 5 hopes for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Number 5. Better story. Now, Game Freak has had its hit and misses in the past, but one thing is always certain. The newer Pokemon games are becoming more and more cinematic. Maybe not always from a narrative standpoint, but the Pokemon Company continues to try outdoing themselves on how impressive they can make everything look. Oh man, here comes the leader of Team Skull! He's gonna mess us up! Why am I smiling? Although I am aware of the fan base that wants Pokemon to remain simple and carefree, I personally always dug the stories that this franchise set out to tell. The last generation gave us Sun and Moon, and it told an interesting plotline about a girl named Lily and her attempts to free herself from the clutches of her crazed mother. On top of that, we got easily the most developed villainous team leaders, Guzma and Lusamine. Guzma, who is doing what he does because he truly believes he is the best and denies any notion that he, well, isn't. And Lusamine, who is admittedly sort of one note when it comes to being an abusive mother, but by the end sees the error of her ways and tries to fix the relationship with both her daughter and son. There were a lot of irons in the fire for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I liked most of them. Heck, the reason I liked Hau as a rival was because he was so developed. I can already hear someone out there laughing. Hear me out. Even though the guy had a serious problem with overwearing his eager face, he wasn't just some idiot to steamroll. He legit tried his hardest to be the best trainer he could be, and it did take a toll on him when he lost, unlike some others that won't be named. I love to be engaged. I love to care about what's happening. It's why I still consider Pokemon Black and White to be some of the best entries in the entire franchise. Because of the worth that the plot conveys, it makes everything more meaningful. I want to play a Pokemon game and get chills when those credits roll. But this hope is more or less kind of flimsy. I feel like it can go either way, honestly. It's really a matter of if Game Freak wants it. Well, that's that. I think our part in this story is over. Really liking today, Archie. What? It ended in complete failure, but I can appreciate the experience. See you at the battle frontier. Okay. Number 4. Pokemon walking behind you. All of them. You know, at one point this would have easily made number 1, but I feel like Game Freak will finally deliver. Evidence of this? Well, there was that Sun and Moon data mine where it showed all the Pokemon walking cycles, implying it was planned for the games but cut for unknown reasons. They did deliver on this, however, in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, but only with the original 151 in Meltan and Melmetal. Nowadays, there is no excuse. I think the entire development staff knows we want this. I really wouldn't be surprised if we did get this in Sword and Shield. The fans have been clamoring to chill with their ever-growing Pokedex party for 9 years. And yeah, I know that's a lot of development time to put into this one feature. There are a metric ton of Pokemon with unique forms and shiny textures, and now they would have to scale properly in size because the age of sprites is over.
Huh? What?
This feature sells games. Number 3. Past generation evolutions. There's a bit of an unofficial formula with Pokemon generations and how they address the old. It's a common rumor that the even number generations are the ones that make new evolutions or pre-evolutions to older Pokemon. Even though Hoenn kinda breaks this trend by having Wynaut and Azurill. Seriously, what is with that? Why only those two? Who at Game Freak slammed their paper on Shinichi Matsuda's desk and exclaimed, "I know we're shipping in a week, but we need Wynaut and Azurill in these games! Trust me!" Matsuda-san. But the formula does seem mostly accurate. Generation 2 introduced the concept of revisiting the old. Generation 4 really revisited the old, like maybe even too much.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
And Generation 6 slammed us with the debut of Mega Evolutions, which, for the most part, were a massive success in breathing life into our old favorites. Except Audino. So expecting new evolutions for this game should be a given, right? Right? I mean, hopefully, Game Freak isn't always predictable, especially nowadays. If they want to make a Alolan Pokemon, they'll do it. If they want to make remakes, they'll do it. Doesn't matter what generation it is. If they do decide to revisit some older Pokemon in Generation 8, I have but one request. And it's very likely this will be kind of a controversial one. But I don't want Mega Evolutions. I want plain, ordinary evolutions like we used to get. I want Game Freak to introduce original designs that take the older Pokemon to the next level. Pokemon like Onix, Yanma, Sneasel, Piloswine, Gligar, and just so many others became such awesome Pokemon that you didn't need to waste a Mega Evolution slot on. They just existed permanently. I accepted that Sylveon was the only true evolution we got in X and Y, but I'd like to see these come back. Please. I'll even take baby Pokemon that are harder to breed than their actual evolved forms and are only useful for learning a certain move that was never even that good in the first place. Please. Number 2, difficulty options. Alright, here we go. Pokemon is really easy. Now, I get that these are kids' games and you don't want to cater to some 25-year-old Hearthstone player, even though you introduce a mathematical nightmare that is nature's Eevees and Ivies. But the Pokemon fans that are looking for a challenge should get one every once in a while. Though I will give you guys credit, Generation 7 had some pretty tough moments. Like, really, really tough moments. But most of the modern entries have become just so easy, and even worse, those tutorials. Here's a concept, Game Freak. Why not just implement a skip tutorial button? Because younger kids might accidentally press off of it, then be doomed to Route 1 purgatory because they don't know how to walk forward? Personally, I don't think you give kids enough credit. You want to know what happened back in the day when I didn't know where to go or what to do in a Pokemon game? I figured it out. Eventually, kids will figure it out. When you started making these games, they were not Dark Souls. You don't need to nerf the difficulty. But okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. You really want these games to be accessible to little kids. Cool. Seriously, that is cool. But please, do not forget about the more experienced players. You can introduce new difficulty options, or reintroduce the ones that you made in Black 2 and White 2. Even though, don't actually do that. Because I don't know who at Game Freak had the idea to make one difficulty mode per version that you get after you beat the game, but they're very dumb. I know we're shipping in a week, but we need to change the difficulty mode so that it unlocks after you beat the game! Trust me! Matsuda-san. I want to go into this game grinding, leveling up, preparing strategies. I want this game to destroy me, because there is an immense satisfaction you get in going against the odds. Okay, so before we get to number 1, originally this list was only 5, but when coming up with it, I had these lingering thoughts in my head. Just little stuff that I personally want, but didn't seem important enough to take a whole slot. So, without further ado, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1, post-game. Yup, my number 1 hope for Pokemon Sword and Shield is to have a good post-game. You want to know the best feelings when it comes to a Pokemon game? 1, I will never beat this. 2, I really want to though. Now, I'm not saying extensions to the main plot are always underwhelming. I did get a kick out of Team Rainbow Rocket and, well, need I remind you of Kanto from Gold and Silver? I just want a difficult post-game that will keep me coming back. Like, remember the World Tournament?
The end of the match, huh? What?
And I'm not talking Battle Tower, or Subway, or Tree, or whatever. Those are not interesting. They're just hard and exactly the same. I want the Battle Frontier, White Tree Hollow, or Black Tower, anything.
Do something!
I love looking at my Pokemon Emerald cartridge and having that feeling of, oh man, today I am so getting all those symbols. Back to breeding. Either way, give us content. Something that will make these games last long after their initial release date. You can do it, Game Freak. You've done it before, you can do it again. I have faith in ya. Well, that was something. My hopes are definitely not the same as yours, so please leave a comment and tell me what exactly you're looking for in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I wonder if anyone actually wants more baby Pokemon. I feel like the only fan that actually likes them. Either way, thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. I would tell you to subscribe, but you're smart enough. You know what you want. Now serenade me off, Lick-a-Tongue.